Good evening, Mrs. Ross class. Mrs. Roth and I are in your classroom candling the eggs to see if there's any growth inside. So we're starting with egg number 1. And if you look closely, you can see a dark spot that is in the egg. That tells us that egg 1 has something growing inside. If you look carefully, you might be able to see that dark, really dark spot, which would be the eye. And the fact that it's moving tells us that something is growing. Okay, let's look at egg number 2. Okay, boys and girls, same thing. Do you see that dark spot? When I turn the egg, you'll see where it's lighter, but where it's darker is where we have growth from the egg. So we have something growing in egg number 2. Okay, boys and girls, egg number 3 looks very dark. That is good news. When I turn it, there's very little light inside, which tells us that a chick is growing. When I turn it, do you see that the air sac on top? That would be where the chick would begin to hatch from, because it's an open area that it can move around in. So egg number 3 has something growing inside. Egg number 4, looks like we have good news there. There's a lot of darkness, very little light. So that tells us that egg number 4 has growth inside as well. Egg number 4 actually has a lot of growth. Let's look at egg number 5. Okay, I'm going to turn it to see. We can see the air sac inside, and the rest of the egg is very dark. That tells us that there's probably something growing in egg number 5. Egg number 6 has a lot of light on one side, but it is dark on the other side. That shows us that something is growing. Okay, so we have something in egg number 6. Boy, this is good news. Lots of growth happening in A1. You guys must have been working very quietly to let these chicks grow. Okay, here is egg number 7. There's some light, but you can see where there's light and where there's dark. And you can, if you look real carefully, you can see the blood vessels that are carrying the nourishment to the chick as it grows. So egg number 7 has growth inside also. Egg number 8. Do you see how light that is? There's lots of light. It looked like there was some growth inside, maybe started to grow. That doesn't mean that the chick won't continue to grow inside. It might be growing slower, but there's a lot of light, which tells us that the chick is not very big inside. And egg number 9. Okay, boys and girls, we see light on top. But as I turn it, you'll see some darkness. That tells us that there's growth inside. Actually, when I move it, there's movement. I'm not sure if you can see that. If you look real carefully, you can see it moving up and down. You can see the blood vessels that carry the nourishment to the chick as it grows. If I turn it a little bit, you might be able to see the chick's eyes. It's one of the first things that develop when a chick starts to grow. So boys and girls, I hope you get a chance to see this tonight before you go to bed. If not, see it in the morning, or you'll watch it with Mrs. Roth. She will be back in your classroom, and this is pretty exciting. Nice job. Keep working quietly so these chicks continue to grow. Good night.